kenyataan saya dalam 3 bahasa seperti yang saya sebut semalam, dalam bahasa Malaysia, bahasa Inggeris dan bahasa Mandarin. Tapi untuk media-media luar negara, saya baca dalam bahasa Inggeris dulu. So ada 2 kenyataan akhbar. There will be 2 statements. Everyone ready? Okay, ada 2 kenyataan. The first statement will be in relation to 1MDB. I'm making this statement to confirm reports published today by the Wall Street Journal and Reuters on payments made by Bank Negara Malaysia and Khazanah to the Ministry of Finance, which was then utilised to service debt obligations to 1MDB. As highlighted via the press release issued by Ministry of Finance on the 22nd of May 2018, the Ministry of Finance has made payments on behalf of 1MDB amounting to 6,975.14 million ringgit due to 1MDB's inability to pay. This amount includes the payment made to IPIC as part of the 5.05 billion ringgit settlement agreement. The sources for the payments made to IPIC, ABA, and on behalf of 1MDB included 1. Redemption of redeemable cumulative convertible preference shares by Khazanah National Berhad amounting to 1.199 billion ringgit. And 2. Sale of Lot 41, Section 51 Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur to Bank Negara Malaysia amounting to 2.066 billion ringgit. On 14 of December 2017, MOF through its indirectly owned company, Hartana Mampan Sdn Berhad, entered into a sales and purchase agreement with Bank Negara Malaysia to sell a piece of land strategically located adjacent to Sasana Kijang. Second statement. The former Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak has issued a statement yesterday night criticizing the present government's announcement that our debt is now 1 trillion ringgit. He said it will just unsettle the financial markets, alarm the credit rating agencies, and investors' confidence in our institutions such as Bank Negara Malaysia. Now, we would like to explain that the new government will carry out our administration based on the principles of CAT, competency, accountability, and transparency. We want to establish the true baseline on the state of financial affairs, diagnose the problems, and then prescribe all necessary remedies. Let me take this opportunity to explain the 1 trillion ringgit worth of liabilities as at 31st December 2017, as previously announced. Number 1, the official federal government debt is 686.8 billion ringgit, which constitutes 50.8% of the GDP. 2, in addition, the government is already committed to pay for government guarantees for various entities who are unable to service their debts. This amounts to 199.1 billion ringgit, or 14.6% of GDP. The committed government guarantees would include entities such as Dana Infra Nasional Berhad, 42.2 billion ringgit, GovCo Holdings Berhad, 8.8 billion ringgit, Prasarana Malaysia Berhad, 26.6 billion ringgit, Malaysia Rail Link Sdn Berhad, 14.5 billion ringgit, as well as an estimated 38 billion ringgit for 1MDB. Based on the 2 items above, the federal government debt would amount to 885.9 billion ringgit. This represents the 65.4% of the GDP, as highlighted by the Prime Minister Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad yesterday. Thirdly, in addition to the above, the federal government has also been committed and obligated to make lease payments, which includes rental, maintenance, and other charges. for a whole list of so-called public-private partnership projects, such as the construction of schools, hostels, roads, police stations, and hospitals. The lease commitments, which were designed specifically to circumvent the federal government guarantees and debt limits, amounts to 201.4 billion ringgit, or 14.9% of GDP. Hence, the federal government debt and liabilities would amount to a total of 1,087.3 billion ringgit, or 80.3% of the GDP as at 31st December 2017. Malaysians are rightly concerned with our debt situation, as we did when we were in the opposition. However, let me emphasize that the obligation and financial commitments of the federal government are unchanged before 9th of May this year and after elections today. The only change is that the new federal government has decided to call a spade a spade. This new government puts the interests of the people first, and hence it is necessary to bite the bullet now. Work hard to solve our problems rather than let it explode in our faces at a later date. In the short term, the decision to tell the truth may unnerve Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak. However, we firmly believe that in the medium term, by recognizing our true debt situation today, it will enable the federal government to take concrete actions to regularize and strengthen our financial state. I'd like to thank and credit the professionalism of Treasury officials led by Deputy Secretary General Dato Siti Zawiya Muhammad Desa in preparing and presenting all relevant information without fear or favour. This was done without any interference from politicians attempting to manipulate the figures and hide our real debts and obligations. Having engaged intensively with the Treasury team over the past few days, including listening to various constructive proposals and suggestions to resolve these difficult challenges, I am confident that we can overcome them, together with the support of and wisdom of the Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. Let me emphasize that the fundamentals of the Malaysian economy remains strong. The financial sector is stable, the banking sector is well capitalized, and there is sufficient liquidity in the market. We believe that with the new administration focus on CAT, investor confidence will only be strengthened over time. Together with the commitment of the new government, as well as the support of Malaysians all over the country, and with leadership led by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, we will definitely succeed in saving our country. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, Shannon? Yes, Saudara Lim, you called me correctly. I think if you can refer to my previous statement, I've outlined in detail the schedule of debt payments made by the federal government on behalf of one NDB. Shannon, I appreciate if you refer to that. Thank you.
Bobby, are you saying that the previous government manipulated data and all these numbers in order to receive a better, greener picture?
Well, I think if you refer to my statement, we have outlined what we consider to be the correct national debt figure. I think you can draw your own conclusions.
Mr. Lim, the 199.1 billion figure that you provided, is that for which period? Because it refers with the Bank Negara figure of 238 billion.
No, I think that what we have done is that when you look at 199, coupled with the 201 billion, I think you got to join these two figures together. Yes.
The same as Bank Negara.
Yes, right.
But the 199.1 is different from the Bank Negara figure as at fourth quarter.
Yes, because again, you cannot blame Bank Negara because they don't have full access to the records. But if you look at the you look at
It's lower than the
no, it's lower because you add up 199 and 201. You're looking at around how much? You're looking at around 400.
Okay.
So I think these are some of the figures that they have, what they have access to. They put that in, but they do not have full access.
And the 201, is that all, or are your people still looking for more figures?
I think that will be the final figure.
That would be fine.
Yes, unless you shock me with new figures.
So no, the 1 MDB figures, just to clarify, is it in the 199 or is it in the 201?
No, they are already included. Actually, it depends on whether the commitments are fulfilled. If you look at the notes to the notes, can you read out the notes to me? I think it's a bit small. You read out the notes, I think it's explained there. Sorry. Yes.
I want to verify that actually how many percent of the total national debt is spending? Last time Mahathir said 65%. Now in your statement you say 80%.
No, 65%. What? When did I say 80%? 65%. No, these are what we call as we look at committed government guarantees. But these commitments, they are off-balance sheet items. You cannot take them out because you're already paying. So what they have done is that they have taken it out from the balance sheet. They are off-balance sheet items. So the one that Mahathir said is correct, 65.4%. Can you read the paragraph 1, 2, 3, under number 2? Yes. Yes.
On the 1 MDB payments taken from Bank Negara and Khazanah, was there any pressure on both agencies to kind of take on these, make these payments?
There were all sorts of pressures. Otherwise, I do not think that they would have made these payments. Of course, they have covered themselves in the sense that there was written authorization. You are talking not about millions or hundreds of millions of ringgit. You are talking about billions of ringgit. And you are looking at Malaysia Treasury officials who know that without written authorization, their head will be on the chopping block. So they have the necessary written authorization. But I think you are right to say that they were subject to all sorts of pressures.
Days ago, you said that the 1 MDB is facing bankruptcy. So will this company be bankrupt in the future?
No, 1 NDB was insolvent, I think, more than 1.5 years ago. It was already insolvent. 2016, it was already insolvent. So the point is that when you look at payments made by the federal government, it is clear that this was a bailout of 1 NDB. And we have paid nearly 7 billion ringgit so far. So I'm only talking about 1 MDB here.
So government will pay for the debt?
Yes, yes. Because there was a back-to-back guarantee.
Will prevent its bankrupt?
No, we still have money to pay. But, the problem is, just imagine, this 7 billion ringgit, if it could be used for the benefit of ordinary people in Malaysia, how much would we have benefited? Instead, it is used to pay off debts of the largest scandal in history. And this is why I think we find it so painful, and many Malaysians are feeling so angry about that money can just be spent like this for the 1 NDB scandal. Imagine if this amount is spent for the public goods or for public purposes, there will be a lot of difference. Belakang. Asset oleh? Yang YDB, 1 MDB. Apa? Asset lah. Itu yang kita susah kesan. Kerana seperti yang dinyatakan semalam, itu CEO pun sebut bahawa beliau tidak pasti sama ada dia masih wujud atau tidak. So itu sesuatu yang kita akan terus cari, tapi sama ada boleh dapat atau tidak itu perkara lain. Kerana kalau ia memang tak pernah wujud, susah untuk cari sebarang aset. Ya, ya. Yes, the answer to you is yes. It is insolvent, and of course, the fact that it cannot meet its debt obligations answers your question. But the problem is that there's a back-to-back guarantee by the federal government, and we will honor that commitment. We will pay as scheduled. Yes.
And that is in terms of what former Prime Minister Najib Razak said about the reaction from the market. That was a reality. The market did react. What is your response to that in terms of disclosing this amount of?
Well, that is his claim that the markets reacted. But I think if you look at the performance of the share market, it is subject to many factors. After all, even today, it is other regional markets are also similarly affected. But as I said in my statement just now, I think we want to speak the truth, not only to the people of Malaysia, but to markets. Let us, for a change, speak truth to power. And let power speak truth to the people of Malaysia.
So when will the financial audit center begin for this company?
Oh, it began when we took office.
By PwC?
You're talking about 1 NDB.
By which company?
No, you're talking about 1 NDB or?
One NDB.
1 NDB, yes, we have contacted Pricewaterhouse to do a audit position review. So I think that we should give them some time. Okay, anything else?
I think you mentioned about the market's response. There are many factors. Was it among the factors the ongoing probe against former Prime Minister and that announcement by Tun among the reasons?
No, I do not think that you can identify whether the market rise or fall according to one statement that has been made by the federal government. I would like to repeat what I said earlier, that I think the time has come for us to lay the facts on the table. Let us speak the truth, not only to the people but also the financial markets. Let them not be deceived anymore. As I said just now, and I repeat again, we must speak truth to power. And at the same time, let power also speak truth to the people. Thank you. Yes, wait, I think can we find somebody else who has not asked a question?
How do we know whether there's a budget deficit? Is there a plan to just...
We will let you know. We will let you know when the time is right. Okay? I think it will not be very long because I think we have to finalize certain decisions. Hopefully, the next cabinet meeting will be able to crystallize many of these issues. Yes, the end. No, I would like to emphasize this, that when you are already paying for these commitments, is that not already crystallized into a debt? So it has already been crystallized in a debt when you're already paying. Okay? Yes?
Well, you had mentioned that the market downwards are complicated factors, but there are analysis and vendors say it's caused by the YMDB saga and also the national debt issue. How would you respond to the analysis? And the second thing is ministry going to closely monitor the market and have some solution to stabilize the market?
Well, I think you will be asking the same question for markets that fell in Thailand or in other countries, I'm going to say, oh, because of Malaysia, the market fell. I think let's allow the market to adjust according to its own dynamics. Okay? Yes?
Would Bank Negara governor or top management in Khazanah be held accountable for being involved in building out 1MDB?
Well, I think everyone should be accountable. Of course, if they are instructed in writing to take certain actions, and I'm sure they have some justification. But I think it's something that we will have to evaluate fully. Okay, thank you very much. I think I've already answered many of your questions. Thank you.
Arukanda says he wants to seek legal action.
Okay, last question on Arukanda, by popular demand. Okay. Yes, about Arukanda, what is it?
He says he's consulting his lawyers about your statement saying it's potentially defamatory and it wasn't fair, unjustified and unfair.
Well, Arukanda has made many promises. So he said that if he wants to sue, we'll be waiting for him. Of course, I do not know whether he will do that, but he's free to do so. I think he must bear in mind that he is an employee of 1MDB, and he is now the only employee of 1MDB. And 1MDB is now solely owned by the Ministry of Finance.
Why are you going to sack you? I mean, you've done it with the AG, so you're going to...
I did not sack the AG. I don't have the powers to sack the AG. I mean, let us take this step by step. If there's any developments, we will inform you. Thank you very much.